Good afternoon. Today is Monday, June 19th, and this is the Tyngsborough Commission on Disability meeting. My name is Leanne Winchester. I am the acting chair of this commission. We'll go around and introduce ourselves, starting with my left.
Peter Moore, member.
Karen Wolf.
Kathleen Alexandri.
Rayanne Jasek.
Sean Woods.
Tricia Sicard.
Sean Walsh, Assistant Town Manager.
Jacqueline Schnackertz, Executive Assistant.
All right, terrific. Before we begin with the agenda, I will ask Jackie to announce our new assistant. Introduce him.
So we're pleased to welcome Sean Walsh. He's our new Assistant Town Manager who is working here. He is going to be the liaison to this commission moving forward. So just want to welcome Sean, and he's going to do a great job for you guys.
Thanks, Jackie. I'm looking forward to working with you all, and I'm excited to be here.
Great.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Good to have you, Sean.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to open today's agenda by looking at the meeting minutes from last meeting, March 10th, 2025. Do I have a motion to accept the meeting minutes?
I move that we accept the meeting minutes from March 10th, 2025.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, so we do have some new business that we'll be discussing. The first subject is the Home Safe Project update by Chief Woods, or from Chief Woods.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I've been working with my department's website company to update language in the registration process on our Home Safe project. What it is it's a registry for family members to call on to provide us with information on family members of people they live with disabilities, so that we can respond better and we're aware of issues in the house. It was started, I think, 4 years ago with Chief Howe in collaboration with the Rotary Club. There was a fundraiser. We were able to raise money to supply residents who tend to wander with radio frequency tracking devices. So if there was an event where they went missing, that was just another tool that we could use to be able to assist them. Over the last 4 years, we haven't had too many people sign up. So the goal now is to re-advertise, to relaunch the program, and make it even more available to everybody in the community, where before, the focus, or at least the feedback we got, was for residents with Alzheimer's. We want to make it even more inclusive, in not just the tracking devices, but information gathering, again, so that we can respond to these homes and just have better information so that we can provide better service. I'm hopeful to have the website updated by our next meeting in a relaunch, so that we can not only advertise on the website, but also in this meeting. So I'll have more information with you for the commission next month.
Oh, that's terrific. Really excited to hear that. And I do remember, I'm sure the other members that were here, when Chief Howe did start it for specifically Alzheimer's, individuals with Alzheimer's and dementia. And so if I understood you correctly, you're going to be expanding it to be inclusive of people with disabilities, not just the Alzheimer's and dementia?
The focus at the time was for those who go missing, and to provide free services, tracking devices to help assist first responders responding, locating them, which is great.
Yeah.
I just think it would be more efficient and just a better service if we re-advertised and focused on response to all homes that have any types of issues, with people that are living with them, family members, where we can gather information. Again, we can train our officers better and have a better response. So not just those that go missing, but for any type of response we have.
That's exciting. And I will say, so Rayanne, you as being our liaison with the Councils on Aging, maybe when the website is complete, there'll be an update for the Councils on Aging.
Definitely, and we can get it into their newsletter, and possibly at some point I could ask if one of the your members would want to come and kind of explain it to a group there
We'd be more than happy to.
Okay.
Yeah, that's great. And can you just remind us, when does the Council on Aging meet? They have their second Wednesday, or?
No, it's on Tuesday,
Okay,
the second Tuesday
sorry
of the
to,
month. No, that's okay, it's the second Tuesday of the month, but they don't meet in July and August.
okay. Yeah, I knew it was similar to ours.
Yes.
Okay, all right, so that's good. So maybe in September, kind of work out the kinks and, yeah.
Chief
definitely by
Woods,
then,
would
yes.
there be an age cutoff?
No,
No age cutoff.
no age cutoff.
All right. And I guess the other thing is we would ask is that it would be posted or linked to our webpage on the Commission on Disability, correct? So anybody coming on to the Commission on Disability website could click on a link and bring it to the,
Yeah, we can take a look at that, but I don't see a reason why we wouldn't be able to. So I can follow up with the board on that, absolutely.
And probably then the Council on Aging website as well.
We can, yeah,
'Cause-
we can do an evaluation of the website and see where it makes sense to put that link so it's accessible to as many people as possible.
Right.
great. Very exciting, thank you. All right, next, new business is the municipal ADA improvement grant review.
Absolutely. So I do have an update for the commission. I've been working, I've been here 5 working days now, but I've been working with Town Manager Loisel on preparing an ADA planning grant from the Mass Office of on Disabilities. And I expect by the end of the week, the due date for the planning grant is this week. And I expect that that will be submitted hopefully Wednesday, if not Wednesday, then certainly on Thursday. But just to give everybody an update on what we're preparing to submit the grant for is an update to the transition plan, which was approved back in, or put together back in 2021. That was actually the last thing we received grant funding for from MOD. We've applied several times in 2021, 2022, and 24, I believe. We were not successful in receiving grant funding during those application processes, but we are excited to submit an application for a project that would essentially review the transition plan, which did not at the time include reviews of right-of-ways, specifically sidewalks and curb ramps. And basically, we received a proposal earlier this month that would electronically map all of the sidewalks and curb ramps throughout the town, include that with our StreetLogix platform, and allow us to evaluate that and, give us a prepared report so we could take a look at, what's in good shape, what's not in good shape, and, potential projects down the line that we could identify to make updates to. So we have the paperwork just about ready to go. A couple last-minute things to square away this week, but I'm also happy to answer any questions that the commission may have, and I will certainly follow up once that's been submitted. I don't expect we would hear anything back from MOD until sometime this fall.
Okay, any questions?
Has there been a lot of citizens calling with reporting issues if they happen to observe stuff?
That's a good question. I'm not sure I'm the right person to answer
You're
that,
brand
given
new.
my call volume the last week has been minimal since the former assistant town manager has left. I'm happy to check in on that and follow up, though.
Okay.
Really what this is it's a good opportunity to evaluate what we have. So even if folks have not been complaining, it's certainly something that it's better to be proactive about than I think reactive to. And if we can receive the grant funding for it, I think it's a no-brainer for us to help us evaluate projects down the road.
So I just want to be clear, so we're looking at submitting the grant so that we can electronically map where all the walkways and the sidewalks and everything are, and once that is done electronically, what would it be used for then?
So we'll be able to add it to our transition plan, but we're going to get a detailed report of the condition of those, of the
Okay.
sidewalks and the ramps
Oh.
throughout the town. So it'll allow us to say, these, X percentage is not in great shape. We can identify that in coordination with, Department of Public Works to, start, making improvements to them.
I have one other question, it may not be relevant, and you might not have the answer, but I know that there are some roadways in Tyngsborough that don't have sidewalks, but yet they would be dangerous And so would that be taken into consideration if there were walkers or?
My understanding of the project that, we're applying for this, for the grant for is only going to be mapping the existing sidewalks. So it's not going to be mapping areas that don't have that currently. But that's certainly something that we're taking a look into as well, areas that we can add, sidewalks to, and obviously new ones are going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah. All right. Are there any questions?
Who does this get submitted to?
This will get submitted to the Massachusetts Office on Disabilities.
And they're part of the State House?
Yes,
or the
it's
governor's
a state office within the Commonwealth.
Is there a cap on funding, a ceiling for what you can apply for?
There is. It's $250,000, but it has to be specific to a project, and you have to show that it can be completed within the next fiscal year.
Yep.
And it's even less than that, really, because funding, you can't start the project until you're approved for the grant.
Right.
And we don't expect that till the fall. So it has to be something relatively, quick, and you have to be able to prove as part of the submission documents that you can complete it within the fiscal year.
Okay.
Most of the high-end, just looking over some historical data over the last week, most of the high-end projects are for the project side of the grant. What we're applying for is really the planning side, which typically has, lower costs associated with them, because we're not doing any work to the sidewalks, we're just reviewing them.
And then for the actual work, is that something that we could apply next year for a grant to help with that?
I would anticipate that, if we identify projects from this planning grant that need to be done, if that's done in a timely manner as we expect it to be, I would expect that we'd be able to apply on the project side of this grant for funding there.
Great, thank you.
Again, it's no guarantee. We've applied several times in the last 5 years and not received funding, so there's no guarantee, but it's certainly something that we're going to keep trying on.
Great. Any other question? All right, so Rayanne led us into the next new business, which is a timetable of available grants. And this is something I believe, Rayanne, you asked for last time. Do we have a timetable of when grants that have been regularly offered would be available?
I don't have that information in front of me now. That's something, as I'm, still, not to use that as an excuse, because it certainly is not, but I'm still getting acquainted with the office and
Yeah.
the position. So, as we move forward, over the next few weeks and months, hopefully before our next meeting, I can have an update for you on that. That's something that would be very helpful, just for, obviously, for the whole commission, but also for me and my role as well. So, I'm happy to continue to look into that, and we'll follow up.
Okay.
That would be wonderful, because one of the things we've had a problem with, and as you see, you've got a deadline coming up this week right away,
course.
is getting out in front of the grants.
Of course.
And when we're only meeting monthly,
Right.
for us to have that window of opportunity, and unfortunately, we've missed some of them.
Certainly.
Okay. Any other comments or questions about the timetable for available grants? Of course, if anybody hears of any available grants, would we reach out to you, Sean?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'd be a great contact for that.
Okay. All right. So that brings us into old business. And so Rayanne, do you have an update about the dementia-friendly working group, the Memory Cafe? I've seen things about town. Looks
Yes.
pretty good.
So June 4th, last Thursday, was that, Friday? I was out of town over the weekend, I lost track of dates, but anyway, they had their first Memory Cafe. This one was run from the State Council on Aging, and it was successful. It was small, it was a small group, but they felt that it was very successful. And part of the whole liaison with the statewide is them giving the group the tools to make this something that they can continue. And there's a lot of support out there. And so the working group is still there and still interested in doing more and making this a regular thing for both caregivers and those who would use the services. One of the things we've talked about, as long as I've been on the board, is supporting caregivers with all of the groups in this town. But this is a way of doing for people that are caregivers with, have dementia in the family. So it's exciting, and they're very excited. The group that's working on is very excited, and so anything we can do to help them.
Yeah, terrific. Other questions? So I would like to ask, are you able, for the viewers at home or even the members here, able to give sort of an outline on a memory cafe or, what, I assume that you were there?
I
and
was not there.
You were
I was
not
out of
there?
town, no.
Okay.
So it's an opportunity for those that are living with dementia and their caregiver or caregivers to come together for kind of a respite, and it's only a couple hours long, but refreshments, of course, because, gotta have refreshments. This time, the activity was, a musician was there and was doing some sing-along kinds of things. And going forward, it's hoped to be something that can be an activity that's fun, but also a time and a place that caregivers can get some support just among themselves, just, oh, this is what's going on with us, or this is what we found out that worked for us, to be able to share that information, and also a chance for us to disseminate information from the council, the Massachusetts Council on Aging, of what is out there and what kind of supports are out there for them. And get people hooked up whenever we can. So right now, these are happening at the Center for Active Living, but there was talk, hopefully they're thinking in the summertime, maybe of using Ironwood Park for 1 month and doing something out there. They were also excited about the idea of maybe putting something in, and these are dreams, but putting something in terms of like what they call waysides in Ironwood Park, that maybe would have activities or poetry or whatever that really anybody in the community could use, but also somebody that was out there walking along with somebody, moving along with somebody. Do we see this tree? Is this tree in bud? Isn't it? Whatever. Do we hear the birds? Kind of things like that. But just to give people a reason to move along the path. And they will be looking for grants for this. I did suggest to them, if they knew about grants, that they first run it through you, Sean, actually, so that we don't have the town competing against itself ever on any grants.
Of course.
That we're coming as one voice for any of those things.
Sounds great.
Yeah. I have been to memory cafes in the state, not, of course, not here in Tyngsborough, but to others. And it's a great time, does offer respite for the caregiver. It also offers an opportunity for them to have some peer support, to get to know other caregivers, to build relationships, as well as for the person living with dementia. And it's just a great way to come together. I do know from the ones that I've attended, is that they're really person-driven, so it's not like so much as a curriculum, you go and this is it, but it really goes with the flow of the group. So if anybody's listening, or if you yourselves would want to join, I would highly recommend it. And yeah, and there are refreshments, and so that's always a good thing too. Yep. Any other comments or questions, or no? All right. So this brings us up to our member reports. Are there any member reports? Anything from the school with the children? No?
I'd say things are going pretty well so far. But of course, if anything does come up or I see a parent and they bring issues for me, I will for sure bring it up
Yep.
here.
Okay. And were you going off to school? So can I just, I hate to put you on the spot, but, so you'll be going off to school in the fall?
Mhm.
All right, so will you no longer be on the commission, or?
No,
Okay,
unfortunately not, no.
okay, so we'll be looking to find
Mhm.
somebody else within,
Possibly someone who does have a disability. I'm representing my sister here. I think Catherine last time brought up the idea of having someone who has a disability to bring up here, not just a representative. I think that's something we should push for
Yeah.
someone within the school system to join in.
okay,
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
right, somebody within the school system. So let me ask, so for a member within the school system to sit on the commission, would they need to be at least 18, or is there an age, or no?
I don't think there was an age for you, was there? No,
I
didn't
joined
think
at
so.
17. I'm 18 now, so
Okay,
They're a non-voting member, so
Yeah.
all right, so if folks are listening, or if you hear of anyone, yeah, that might be interested, love to have them. Okay, any other?
I did have one question for you. Have you heard anything about the Girl Scout project?
I have not. I have talked to her personally too. Nothing, no update.
Okay.
I told her to also come to, I texted her to meeting dates to come and talk about any updates for her. I believe it's the Gold Star Project.
Yes.
But no, haven't heard anything back.
Yeah, everybody's busy.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
doing that, though.
Yeah. Well, and I do want to say thank you so much for all of your service to the commission. You've been a valuable member,
Thank you.
and we will miss you. So we do hope you come back and visit.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Great.
All right, I did want to bring up one thing, and this is, we've discussed this in the past, but I think it would be helpful, especially with the commission growing and getting more attention, that it would be helpful for us even to have on the website, or is to have a guide on communicating with and about people with disabilities using person-first language. And so, and this would be a person with a disability, not a disabled person, for example. So I don't know if that is available to us, but I do think that is something that we should raise awareness to.
I have something to add for that. I know we talked about that at the last meeting, and I took some time and I went on some different websites of surrounding communities, and a few of them do a really good job of, on their website, putting quick reference guides for respectful language, guides for referring to individuals with disabilities, resources, some YouTube videos, or some relevant links. I know I had written some down. The Massachusetts Office on Disabilities, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services have a link. Center for Disease Control and Prevention has a pretty good link. And the National Center on Disability and Journalism had another good link. And again, I won't name the communities in the area, but there were some really nice things that they had on their websites to address that very issue.
Great.
Yeah, I've taken some of those down, and Chief, maybe you and I can talk offline about some of those resources, and we can absolutely take a look at, as part of that, website review that, we were talking about a little bit earlier, about, making sure as many resources that are, helpful to be available, making sure that they are available.
I think I think it would also be helpful if there was information on service animals, and there are some resources available. So for, and what I've learned is that if you're in the store in a public place and someone has a service animal, it would be proper etiquette to not go up and, oh, can I pat your dog? Or to treat it as if it's just a pet, but that there is an actual, there's an actual etiquette on, on how to react if someone has it, you don't just go up and just start patting the dog and things like that,
Certainly.
so. Okay. Any other, yeah,
I did have one other thing from the Council on Aging. On June 20th at 11 a.m., they're having their celebration of the 10th year anniversary of their building, and they're renaming the senior center as officially the Center for Active Living. I cannot be there that morning. I wondered if one of the rest of you could be there, because I think it is important that someone from our commission be there as to represent us.
What week is that, do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Of course
The
you
June 20th is a Friday.
It's a Friday.
Friday, I can do that, okay, Randy?
Oh, wonderful,
Great, Karen.
thank you.
I've already responded to my RSVP, so I'll be there as well.
Great,
Terrific.
thank you.
Will there be refreshments?
Yes, there will be.
Okay.
I did have one other thing to note, too.
How are they gonna accommodate all that parking?
Oh, I don't know. Well, they have a lot of parking in the back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a new member of the Tyngsborough Dunstable Rotary Club, I had the opportunity to help out at at my first fishing day for individuals with disabilities yesterday, and I want to say thanks to everyone that helped contribute, everyone that showed up. We had about 150 people who came, family members, individuals with disabilities. It was a great day at the Tyngsborough Sportsman's Club. Helping out with fishing, giving out bait, cooking, hot dogs, hamburgers. It was a wonderful event. The Rotary Club deserves a lot of thanks for the time and effort that they put in every year doing that. I would encourage anybody who's on the commission next year to come on down, because it was a fantastic day all around.
Was it at the Sportsman's Club then?
The Sportsman's Club hosts, and it's the Tyngsborough Dunstable Rotary Club, the Drake Rotary Club, and the South Nashua Rotary Club are the contributors. And again, I believe we had about 150 participants yesterday, and it couldn't have gone better. It was such a great day. A couple other things too. My officers took part in a Tip-A-Cop event, April 29th, right after our last meeting, and it was to raise money for the law enforcement torch run, which is for the Special Olympics. We raised almost $3,000 partnering with Tavern at the Square, and I think out of 8 taverns that partnered with their police departments, we were number 2. A lot of other bigger communities, so we did pretty good. So thank you to the community for showing up. Saturday of this week, we also took part in the Cruiser Convoy, which is the final element of the torch run. Take the torch from different locations in the state and bring it down to the Special Olympics down at the Harvard Athletic Complex. I think the event total with the Cruiser Convoy, the last time I logged into the website a couple of days ago, raised about $12,000. I was not able to make it to that one. 2 of my officers, Sergeant Kuchmarek and Officer Benjamin, did attend. And again, just another a great job by people from my agency helping out. And that was just Saturday the 7th. So
Terrific. Great. Thank you. Any other? No other updates or new business? Okay. All right then. Well, that concludes our meeting. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting on Monday, June 9th, 2025.
I second that. You second it? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.